Hi, I'm Jackie Baker, and I'm the founder and CEO of Spark Events based out of Washington State. I've been running my own business now for almost 10 years, but prior to that, I've worked over 15 to 20 years in the event planning and marketing space. So I just wanted to share with you some of the questions I often get asked about why I'm starting my own business. There are a few points. I mean, a lot of people are thinking, like, why would you want to be an event planner? Why do you want to start your own business? I think the main thing for me was the ability to be my own boss. There are pros and cons of that, and I will definitely get that into future episodes. But the main thing was be able to select clients I wanted to work with, select projects I wanted to work on, be able to have a lot more control of my schedule, which is actually the second point of it. Beyond being my own boss, is that I can be flexible and I have the autonomy to work from different locations. I can take time off when I needed to. Especially, this was very important to me when my son was much younger, and I had the flexibility to work around his school schedule, activities, and other things that we had going on as a family. So that was a big push of why I wanted to move into that direction. The other thing is, I really wanted to follow my passion. I've loved planning events and all sorts of things ever since I was really young, and I was always called on to be the one to help plan this party or that get together, the family reunion, and so on and so forth. And I really parlayed that into my career early on. And I wanted to continue to do that because I truly love it. But I wanted to explore some different elements of event planning that are more involved with the business component of it and how that works and how it all plays together. The final component that I think is really important is creativity. I spent 10 years as a corporate event planner. Loved that job. It was wonderful. And I planned a similar series of events every year. And, you do that for a while and it's like, well, I'd like to try something different, try my hand at something different, but there just wasn't that opportunity. Once I started my own business, I was able to move into that space and actually be more creative and challenge myself and learn new things. And so that was really, really rewarding. Next thing you need to consider is how to set your business up as a legal entity. And so there are three different ways you can do that. You can be a sole proprietorship, just a one person, one man show, one gal show. The other way you can do it is a limited liability corporation, and many people do that. And then the one that I've chosen and a lot of other event planners have chosen is an S corporation. The best way to learn about what is going to be the best fit for you is to do your own research or consult a legal professional. You will need to consult a legal professional to get it set up. However, I recommend, again, many resources online that can talk about the pros and the cons and what might be the best fit for you. Again, my recommendation is to begin, what was told to me was to begin with the end in mind. And I found that having an S corporation was going to provide me the largest amount of protection in case anything happens. There's some tax benefits related to it, and it gets pretty complicated. But again, just make sure you pick one and get that going right away. One more thing that you need to do is to make sure that you are filed as a business in the state in which you reside. So I'm from Washington. I've got all of that paperwork done with the state, Department of Revenue, all of those types of things, and you can get your state business number. Then the step after that is to get a federal tax identification number. You're going to need to use these numbers all the time when you're putting in contracts and your W-9s and making sure all of that type of financial information and legal entity information and tax information is at the ready. So it doesn't take a lot of time to do that, but definitely go ahead and make sure that is taken care of before you start the planning itself. Once you start your event planning business, you can easily get caught up in actually doing the work and forget to have I need to get to this one thing and I need to get to this one thing. And all of a sudden you are so behind. That's what happened to me. I just dove right in and I forgot a lot of things that needed to just happen. And I had to really take a pause, go back and make sure all of that business was taken care of. Speaking of business, let's talk about business. So one of the reasons we do this is also to make money. And so you also want to start off by making sure your bookkeeping, your financials, your record keeping, and all of that is in line. Going back and trying to fix it or set it up after the fact can be quite time consuming and frustrating. So I use QuickBooks Online. Many businesses use QuickBooks Online. It allows you a way to make sure that all your financials are set up in there. I would recommend consulting a bookkeeper or some sort of financial expert to make sure that all of that is set up in there correctly in the beginning. I did it myself. Then I had to go back 2 years later and fix a bunch of things, or rather, I had to hire someone to go back and fix a bunch of things. So save yourself that headache. Consult with services that can help you get things set up. There are a lot of bookkeeping services where you can hire them initially by the hour to try to get your chart of accounts set up in your financial tracking software. QuickBooks is one of them. There are a variety of other ones. So definitely do your research and see what is going to be the most convenient and easy for you to work with. Down the road, you're probably also going to want to make sure that you have an accountant, CPA, to do your taxes for you. If you're the type of person who's very tax savvy and you want to do that yourself, that's great. CPAs and accountants have a lot of knowledge that you may not have about what you can deduct and what you can't deduct, and what information they need to make sure that you're paying your share of taxes, but you're not overpaying your taxes, and that it's separate from your personal and your business. And so I can't emphasize that enough. I have quite a few stories about this that I can get into down the road if you're interested in hearing about how to make sure you get that done right. One more thing, once you've selected your name, is you need to be able to get that name out there. And making sure that you have a website and you look like a legitimate, pulled together professional business is incredibly important. So while you're coming up with your business name and some of the ways that you would like to position yourself or market yourself, make sure you go out and check out all the domains that are available to see if you can even use it, because a lot of them are getting snatched up. Sometimes you have people who just squat, which is basically they'll take a bunch of names that are related to a specific industry and hold on to them and try to sell them to you for a really big price. Some of them may be worth it to you. Others you can just get for $15. So kind of just do your research there. Make sure you have your website designed well and it's cohesive, and then it ties into your social media. So again, you're going into the website domains and you need to look at social media handles. Do your research. There's tons of event companies out there. They have all sorts of looks, designs, messaging, cultures that come through. Find something that you feel might be how you would like to represent your business and just get creative. Again, this is a part of it that you just don't need to skip ahead and try to not spend a lot of time on. It is absolutely worth it. And you can be really inspired by what other people are doing as well and how you can differentiate yourself. Staying organized and on top of all of these business functions, as well as how to actually do event planning, it can be a real challenge. And I have struggled with that, honestly, for years. I had my event software planning, task list, task manager in one area. I had no CRM, which is customer relationship management tools. So just to kind of keep my client list together. I had my social media in one place. I had my newsletters that I was trying to do in another place. And then I had my website in another place. And it was a lot of years of really remembering what's the password, where's this, where's that. So one of the tools I use that I have found to be extremely important is one that we actually developed alongside Spark Events to be a tool for event planners who are running event planning companies. So as an owner of an event planning company, I need to be able to see everything in one place. And now I can. My entire team is logged into Event Pro Suite. We use it daily for our task management needs, to look at our opportunities in our pipeline. What's a lead? What's a proposal? What we're currently working on, and what has been completed. So that's a big component of also just keeping track of all the things we have going on and letting our team know what we have going on. It also holds all of our customer information, emails, phone numbers, names, projects, everything like that. So we know who to reach out to when we're trying to drum up more business, who we need to communicate with as far as decision makers in different companies. And it's also an easy way for us to send out our newsletters to a whole group. If we have different types of communication, we are able to do that within Event Pro Suite itself, which is so nice. I had to use a variety of different subscription services every month, and it was costing so much money for each of these. And now with Event Pro Suite, I'm able to just have one payment and all the things are integrated into it. One of the ones that I like a lot is the contracting function. It's basically allows me to upload the contracts that we've created with our clients and have them sign them digitally. and also then collect payment if we need to. I use books to collect payments just because that's the way I set it up 10 years ago, and that seems to work for me. But if you're new and you want to just be able to collect it through Stripe, that's all integrated as well. Another amazing feature about EventPro Suite, and I know I'm talking about EventPro Suite, but also it's because we developed it to solve so many problems we were experiencing after all these years of business. So I'm really excited about it, which is why I'm talking about it. Earlier on, I mentioned that you definitely need to look at building the right website, making sure it's all, you've got the right domain and everything. Well, the cool thing we also had built into EventPro Suite was the ability to set up, build, and manage your website within that platform. It is just as easy as uploading images and then dragging different components and like building the website and publishing it. I'm able to go in myself if there's like a new testimonial I want to change or some wording I want to change, an update to a bio, I go in and can do it. Or a member of my team can go in and do it. I don't have to hire a web company or web designers to now do this for me, which has saved a ton of money and also keeps a lot of that control and consistency across our newsletters, our website, our contracts, all of those types of communication tools. When you're looking at social media, think about the way that you want to go ahead and reach your customers. What are your customers? Are they more event people who are going to have like weddings? Are they corporate? Are they nonprofits? Associations? There's a lot of different ways you can like slice and dice how you reach your target audience. When you're planning your social media, think about the plan itself. When do you want to post? How often do you want to post? Do you want to post when you just have something that you just did that was fabulous? Do you want to make sure you get something up once a week? That can be a bit of a challenge when you're working across multiple platforms. So that's why we also use EventPro Suite to do all of our social media scheduling in one place across platforms. And that's really been nice to develop a bunch of content and then go ahead and schedule it in there. And we don't have to pay for social media scheduling software like Hootsuite or something similar like that. That's all integrated as well. But definitely make a plan, because when people come to do research on you, and it's happening more and more, they're going to go to your Instagram, they're going to go to your LinkedIn, your Facebook, and make sure that you are real and that you have some really great images and just learn more about what you are beyond your website. One more thing to think about your business, and a lot of times it's not something that comes to top of mind until it's a problem, is insurance. Now, depending on the type of work you do, the scale of your business, you need to look at different types of levels of protection. The way that my insurance broker, who was a friend at the time who also happened to be an insurance broker, told me was, you don't want to have a situation where somebody falls at an event through no fault of your own. Say like something was spilt, they slipped and fell, and now they've been injured and they're suing the venue and the caterer and the event planner. And you don't want to get in a scenario where everything you work for is at risk. He said to me, you don't want someone falling to mean that you've just lost your house. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it was a real eye-opener for me to make sure that what I'm doing and what I love to do is still protecting me away from the liability. So look into insurance, some basic general insurance that you're also going to have to be able to provide to your clients. They're going to require that, especially corporations. And then think about things like cyber insurance. Now there's a lot more hacking going on. I personally got hacked. That's a whole nother story. That was kind of a big deal and really scary that I can get into in a later video. But even cyber insurance, just think about like all the different ways that you want to make sure you protect yourself and talk to a professional about what makes sense for your business and what makes sense for your budget. One of the questions I get asked when I am setting up an event planning business is, should I just dive in full time, or should I just kind of start as a side hustle and see how it goes? I have friends and colleagues who have done both. I just dove in. I had an opportunity because of a change in the company I was at. I was like, okay, I can look for a full-time job, or I can finally do what I've been wanting to do. And so I dove in head first. And there are definitely pros and cons to that. I can get to that in a later video. If you're interested, say something in the comments below, and I'll make sure to make that a future episode. So you can dive in. The benefits of that, of course, is it gets your full focus. You're highly motivated to make it work because you need to like start bringing the money in and get all the things buttoned up. So if you are definitely going in full time, make sure you go through those elements I just talked about, how to build your business and make sure it's structured before you dive into the planning of the event. I mean, there's different elements you need to do anyway, marketing, sales, finance. Basically, you're the CEO, but you're also every department head and every manager in every department as well. So just make sure you have all that dialed in. And when you're full time, you're going to have time to like get in every aspect of that. For a lot of people, that is too risky to go full time all at once. So they want to try it out and start out as a side hustle. I have friends who have very successful event planning companies and they're still a side hustle and they're just to the point where they're going to be ready to cut over. The beauty of having it as a side hustle is you get to dip your toe in the water and without going into too much financial risk, see if it is going to be a fit for you, if this is something you want to do long term, how you grow your business, learning as you go, maybe working with other event planners and other event planning companies to learn their tips, tricks, best practices that you can then implement when you go full time. Do bear in mind, though, this is going to mean a lot of long hours. Any event planner will tell you there can be some very long hours involved in working on evenings and working on weekends. But when you have a full-time job, plus probably family obligations, kids, whatever you have going on, you're going to be adding to that. So just keep that in mind that when you add it on as a side hustle, it's going to take even more time. Another very important element about starting your business is what are you going to call your business? Your business name is going to stick with you for quite a while, especially as you grow. I mean, you can change it along the way. I've changed my business name a couple times, but for the most part, it's remained pretty consistent. So think ahead into the future. What other types of services would you like to be able to offer? So if you are doing something very generic like Mary's wedding planning services, well, do you want to do corporate events one day? Do you want to branch out into nonprofit work? Just make sure that you're kind of beginning with the end in mind a little bit of where you can see it going. And that's where your business plan, which I mentioned earlier, can also help you figure that out. Bounce your name around with other people. See what other planners are calling themselves. You don't want to like be too similar to someone, especially in your local area, that there's a lot of confusion. You want to also look and see if like you can actually get that name on a website or in social media. So as more and more event planners and basically other businesses are coming in, you need to also take a look at that. Pick a name that resonates with you, your personality, a little bit of your culture. Don't rush this part because it's very important. And you're going to be introducing yourself as, hi, I'm so-and-so from such and such company hundreds and thousands of times. So make sure it's something that really works for you. One of the things that's really important when you start your own event planning business is that it's a business and you could be starting any type of business and there are basic steps that you need to really work on to make sure it's a success. The first thing I would say, and it's not like as fun, but it's super important, is to work on a business plan. A business plan is something that just helps you create your goals and helps you answer the questions why you want to even start this business and to help you realize whether you're on track or you are off track. So there are some very simple templates. You can just Google it and find it. There's some great YouTube videos out there and resources to help you kind of pull that together. And again, it doesn't have to be super complicated or 10 pages. You're not going to a bank with it necessarily. It's just to help you get your thoughts organized. Proper planning will help you really minimize your stress and get the most out of being your own boss. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if there are topics that you would like me to cover or questions you have, please just go ahead and put those in the comments below. Thank you.